Exactly. I am resident of color for YouTube. Joel Sings this with Buddy Patrick McCray, this with Buddy Alan Gallant. We're here to review My Man Godfrey, starring William Powell and Carolyn Barr. Directed by George Bacava, uh, as my cat gets in the way. Maury Riskind, Eric Hatch, contributing writers Zoe Atkins and Robert Purcell Sr. Let's see, produced by Charles R. Rogers. Cinematographer is Ted uh, Tetzla. Sorry about that. Music by Charles Preven. Distributed by Universal Pictures. Budget was 575, comma 375 million.
It's basically a $500,000 in Depression era money, which would be like at least 12 or $14 million today, maybe more.
Well, at this time they were rolling. Back then, they were rolling out more movies then than they are now.
Tons. I mean, they were the major studios were like putting together a couple of movies a week sometimes.
Easily, yeah.
Yeah.
Major studios still to this day, I mean, generally have at least two movies a month.
Mm-hmm.
I would say so. You just double that,
Yeah,
but they have
triple it or whatever.
where we
Yes.
get the picture.
Yeah, they would have. I mean, so much of their stuff occurred on sound stages. They would have stuff going on simultaneously and all over their studio campus. So it was, yeah, it was, yeah, it was the Dream Factory, and it is I think that term was coined during this period, actually,
Yep.
Dream Factory, because it was a way to sort of take us away from all the troubles, the financial troubles of the time, which were myriad and legion. So you had a lot of, you had people dancing around in luxurious nightclubs and wearing the finest clothes. And then in other movies, you'd have the same people being made fun of because that it's like, yeah, you rich people, blah, 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 that kind of thing made people who are not so rich feel a little bit better about themselves. And this movie sort of has that social commentary of going on a few levels. So,
Well, it certainly makes the life of the aristocracy seem so exhausting
yes,
that no one wants any part of it. It's like, oh my
yeah,
god,
and exhausts the onlooker sometimes too. So
yes.
it can have that effect. This is one of the early screwball comedies. The term screwball comedy actually came from a baseball term, it's kind of a reverse curveball. A curveball, you snap your fingers and hand like that. Screwball, you do it the other way. And it's an unusual pitch and it does weird things on the way to the plate. And then it also, in the parlance of athletes, became anybody that was weird, a little off beam, a little funky mentally or whatever, and they were called a screwball. And so that's where they picked up the term from. I think the first ones were around 1933, 34, something like that. And this is a 36. So it's early in the screwball era.
Could you have a screwball drama?
Yeah, it'd be kind of hard.
I'd say ninth configuration.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Shutter Island, screwball drama. Yeah, I guess you could.
Robert Altman.
Yeah, Well, I mean, his dramedies anyway. Some of his. Altman definitely. Some of his movies would qualify, and a lot of Altman was probably. I'm sure he was exposed to screwball comedies.
Oh yeah,
like forever, along with Neil Simon and some of the other, latter day writers
that
and
Lubitsch
directors.
touch. Ernst Lubitsch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I said the name.
Yes.
My work is
don't say it three times.
What do you guys think about William Powell here in this movie?
Powell is an interesting character because he's really playing very much himself in terms of his temperament. He was very much that kind of an actor. He was not a character actor. He was a guy who played his own temperament, and his temperament was kind of refined. Um, Interestingly enough, a few years before this movie was made, he and Carol Lombard were married for a couple of years. It didn't work out. They remained friends for the remainder of Lombard's life. She died tragically quite young. But they were like oil and water to be married because he was very refined and he was very well versed in societal sort of norms and all that sort of thing. And Lombard swore like a pirate and was very much a down to earth kind of a person, whose career was almost ruined by an automobile accident when she was 17 years old. And
Wow.
she had, fortunately, she had a really good surgeon who uh, didn't give her, um, didn't try to paralyze her face or anything like that in order to kill the pain. She just had to endure the pain. He said that will make the muscles respond better to it and it will scar less. And it did. You can barely see the scar. Even in still photography, you can see it in some still photography. Especially, she had a scar that ran actually on this side, right here. Right.
And what was it that she had?
What she was in an automobile
Oh,
accident.
that's right, automobile.
Yeah,
Yeah,
glass is
yeah.
what cut her.
That one, glasses
Pretty
would
good.
be
Yeah.
accidental overdose of glass in the face.
Yes, exactly. But she managed to maintain the career. She sued the driver of the other car or whatever and got like a few $1,000s out of it to keep her going for a while. And then she got Mac Sennett.
Oh, Mac and Mabel.
Mac Sennett. Yep, Mac Sennett hired her, and she made a whole buttload of shorts. And then when she got her big contract to do full length features, she mostly did serious stuff for a while. She wasn't doing a
Wow.
lot of comedy at all. Whereas um, he was doing stuff all along, sort of in his own vein.
Now, I've heard that she was kind of the inspiration a little bit for Susan in Citizen Kane.
Could be. Could
You know,
it's
but the
entirely
whole thing
possible.
about going off and doing drama. That
Yes.
was not her forte. She clearly was not her thing, but was forced into it by some man anyway, or did it to please him. Does that sound
That's not entirely true of her career because she was pretty
okay?
good at drama and she was gorgeous. And so she worked out okay.
Okay.
But she didn't really become a huge star until she started doing these comedies.
Sure.
And this one in particular was huge. This thing was nominated for like 9 Academy Awards or something ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah.
Powell also did the Thin Man movies, right?
With Myrna Loy, yeah,
Myrna
a ton
Loy,
of them.
the great
And
USC football fan.
yes, and Asta, the great dog, who was also a star in his own right. Um, and Asta used to get along wonderfully with certain actors, but he didn't like Myrna Loy very much. He bit her a couple of times, apparently.
You
But
knew what
yeah.
would happen to him if she got lonely.
Oh,
The football story.
it's yeah.
Apparently, the entire USC football team.
Wow.
No, this is one of the great Hollywood scandal stories.
Yes, yes. That's not in Babylon, is it?
Oh, wait, it sure is.
Yeah, yeah. So that's one of those things that maybe it did, maybe it didn't, kind of thing. But
Yeah.
um,
Unlike Fatty Arbuckle, which didn't.
right? No, that didn't happen at all.
Yeah, that's a very sad story.
That was. Yeah, and he didn't outlive the scandal. Unfortunately, he was just kind of starting to get stuff again when he died. Unfortunately.
For a while, when they thought he was guilty, he was right up there with Bill Cosby as a terrible spokesman for Coke.
Yeah. Well, at least he didn't get into the pudding pops, right?
Oh, and the
Oh, come over here. I got some
out. I'm
pudding
gonna go
pops.
down and be a gynecologist.
Here's a roofie
Yeah.
flavored one.
Lemon pie 6.
Um,
Yeah, this film was based on the 1935 Eric S. Hatch novel
It was.
101 Park Avenue. Charles Rogers, head of Universal, called it a surefire laugh-getting novel. That studio purchased the film rights and assigned Hatch to write the script, with Maury Riskin, who received top billing for the screenplay. Rogers hired George LaCava to direct, the best comedy director in Hollywood. So here's some fun casting for you guys. It was the first major film from Universal after that studio had been taken over by new management, including head of production Charles Rogers. However, the studio did not have any major stars under contract apart from Buck Jones, Boris Karloff, and Edward Everett Horton. And needed,
Yeah.
and needed,
Let's talk lines of business and Edward Horton. Oh my
yeah,
God.
and needed to borrow some other studios. The studio's original choice to play Irene, part eventually played by Carol Lambert, was Constance Bennett, and
Ah.
Marion Hopkins, who also was considered, but the director, George LaCava, would only agree to Bennett if Universal borrowed William Powell from MGM. Powell, for his part, only would take the role if Carolyn Barr played Irene. Powell and Barr had divorced 3 years earlier, but remained good friends, as Alan mentioned earlier.
He had a total appreciation for her talent. He cut right through any difficulties they might have had.
Yeah.
No problems at all.
Powell's casting was announced in January of 1936. Universal borrowed Lombard from Paramount as part of a deal. Universal loaned Paramount's Margaret Sullivan for the film I Love a Soldier, and Lombard's clothes designer Travis Banton accompanied her. Alice Brady joined the cast in March. Shooting production from April 15th to May 27th of 36. So there you go. Really
Got it
funny
done in
film.
5 weeks.
Yeah, really funny film.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and the guy, I'm trying to think of the actor's name in this because he's in a bunch of other like weird movies. I'm trying to find his name here. Hold on. I know his voice. I've seen him in this movie. Where's he at?
Well, I can tell you one of the ones that everybody thinks of is Eugene Pallett, though.
Yeah, that's one
He,
of them.
That guy I'm crazy about.
yeah, he's great. Got that voice like he was the Broderick Crawford of his day. He kind of, he had that kind of thing going on. Portly guy with a aggressive sort of air about him, but 90% of the roles he sort of had a good streak in him somewhere.
He did a very unsuccessful touring one-man show of Khalil Gibran.
Yeah, I can imagine.
A prophet.
I am the path. I am the way. Excuse me. I have to have a drink and a cigarette now.
He's great. He's in my favorite Busby Berkeley movie, The Gang's All Here, which is, I think Busby's name might have been his first colored picture.
Yeah.
And it is in effing sane. It's the one with oh God, the Tutti Frutti Hat lady.
Carmen Veranda.
Carmen Miranda.
Or Carmen Veranda.
It's just like an explosion of bananas. It keeps going infinitely. And
they actually occasionally used to have for the big end of her numbers, they would have somebody do a matte painting behind her of the biggest freaking fruit.
That's how they did it in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Oh boy, Jewel, if you ever get a chance to see The Gang's All Here, it is what Dave Bowman saw when he flew into the monolith.
Yeah. What's some of you guys' favorite scenes from this movie?
I actually really enjoy the first scene when they go down looking for the forgotten man. I think that's a great setup for the social commentary. And he pushes the Cornelia into the ash pile and does all that sort of thing. It sets the whole thing up. You don't know at that point that he's actually from a wealthy family and he got depressed because a girl threw him over for somebody else or whatever. But he actually is. He's from the Parks family, and but at that point you don't know anything about him except that he's living in a trash pile with a bunch of these other guys. So that whole scene where he tells off the party goers and all of that sort of thing.
Yeah, I like that.
That's really, I mean, that's kind of didactic, but at the same time, it just for an audience member, it's like, yeah, that's what we would all like to do sometimes, you know.
Uh, Pat, what's some of your favorite scenes?
Well, I mean, I enjoyed that one. I enjoyed Eugene Pallette insisting on, drinking the entire tray of martinis.
Yeah,
That certainly stands out. Yeah, yeah. Those are standouts, and what Alan mentioned as well.
yeah. This family also is a classic screwball family. It's the same kind of family that's in You Can't Take It With You, the stage play.
Yeah,
They're just all a bunch of goofballs. Most of them have good hearts. A couple of them have black hearts, but mostly they're just silly people, trying just making their way. And in this case, they're silly eccentric because they've been rich most of their life. And in other cases, it's silly eccentric because that's an ethos that, like the head of the family has, and You Can't Take It With You. It's an
yeah,
ethos for the whole family. So it's a little deeper, but it's sort of a template, which works well. Even the maid is like she has deadpan one-liners all the time. Jean Dixon was a great sort of comedic actress of her time as well. Plays the maid, and she's like starts him off, like she's jaded. She's seen him come and go. She doesn't hate him or anything. She probably kind of likes him, but it's like I'll leave your coat here by the door.
yeah.
That you probably, after you see these idiots upstairs, you're going to be ready to go anyway. So she's almost sympathetic, even though she's like she knows this kind of way it goes. So I liked her a lot as well. But I have actually always adored Carol Lombard. And this movie was particularly interesting for her building her character because she decided that she needed to have different mannerisms for this character than she does in some of her other screwball comedies, where she's a little bit more refined. She decides she's got to be silly, and so she worked from the outside in. She
Yeah.
worked all of her facial expressions and her postures and the way she flounce into a room and all of that sort of thing. And you can see it. If you know that, you can see it. Otherwise, it's a nice physical character. It's just all there. So yeah.
Yeah. The fact that these family, when they're always talking to each other, it's like you always feel throughout this movie they're ready to like kill each other sometimes in this movie,
Yeah.
but they don't.
Yeah.
Uh, the whole scavenger hunt thing is funny as fuck. Oh, the Forgotten Man thing, yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my god. But yeah,
And the
it's
mother, she's a complete flibberty gibbet. She's like Flora Collins in the early episodes,
she is,
Ooh.
yeah, she is, yeah, she's like real giddy.
Yes, she is skitty, and she has her little Latin protege, which of course, this is post Hayes Code, so they're not having an affair. At least you don't think they are. He's kind of too stupid anyway. he's
I like how they work out the plot for how they create the jobs for the homeless in this movie, which is
Oh yeah, that's kind of cool at the end.
it
And
was
again,
fun.
that's social commentary.
Yeah,
For that's sort of this is we need to be like the WPA here, folks. We need to
Yeah.
help each other out. So, and it was true because at this point, the 36 is about the height of the Depression.
yeah,
Things are not great for a lot of people. They're getting better for some, but not everybody by that point. So,
yeah. Yeah, the Great Depression was great.
yeah, this kind of movie had to come out of a period like that. It was just like the dream factory to
Yeah.
help people's the general depression of the nation at this point in time. The Great Depression was not just financial, it was psychological as well for a lot of people. So, and speaking of Edward Everett Horton, was about this time he was being sidekick in musicals, wasn't he? I know he was in several, I think he was in a couple with, where he played the sidekick to Fred Astaire. And I can't remember, but anyway, he was very much a part of this milieu of these comedies and musical comedies at the time. When I was a kid, he was the voice of Fractured Fairy Tales. Are you there? Are you there?
I'm sorry,
Okay.
I'm here. I'm like
Yep.
looking at
He's
him.
there. Okay.
I'm here.
Yeah.
I had to re-find his name. Sorry.
Oh, Edward Everett Horton.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. I was
Yeah,
because
he was the comedic sidekick in a lot of these kind of comedies and musical comedies.
yeah, I had scrolled down. I was looking at other things, and I had to go back up and find his name. I apologize.
Yeah, once in a while they would even give him a musical number to sing, if you can imagine this guy. But because he did not have the greatest singing voice in the world, but he could hold a tune in a paper bag, so they let him sing once in a while. This is also the era in which, this was a great time for comedies anyway. This was also the era. 2 years before this, It Happened One Night, which is one of the earlier screwball comedies, was out. Was also nominated for a bunch of Academy Awards. And then you've got the Marx Brothers, who are still going great guns at this particular point in time. It was a great era for just crazy comedies, screwball comedies, comedies of manner, social commentary comedies, satires, everything. Because again, people needed to laugh.
So for 1936, instead of doing what we talked about, he did for Master's Voice, The Singing Kid, Nobody's Fool,
Yeah.
Hearts Divided, The Man in the Mirror, Let's Make a Million, were all his 1936 movies.
Yeah.
So he was busy.
Yeah.
Very, very busy.
Yeah, in the era of contract, and this was the era of contracts, studio contracts, they put you to work. If you were popular, they put you to work, and you might make half a dozen films in a year.
There's one for you. In 1933, he played the Mad Hatter in Alice in Wonderland.
Ah, that's cool. That's pretty cool.
We lost Patrick.
Yeah, we did. No worries. He pushed the wrong button. That's all right.
Freaking Zoom is having more fits tonight than anything else. My God.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has a whole lineup of movies here he did throughout like 36, 37. He was a busy cat for sure.
Yeah, yep, absolutely.
He did Holiday in 1938. He played Nick Potter.
Cool.
So he did a lot of shit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look. I'm trying to look for a guilty pleasure. See if he did a western. The Ghost Goes Wild. No, it's not. But so yeah, he was in a TV special, TV series, 1953 Medallion Theater, 2 episodes. So he was.
Yeah, a lot of these guys made, if they were still in the business by the 50s, they made transition to television. Either have a series or do specials, or like there were a lot of shows back then, like the U.S. Steel Hour and the Armstrong Theater, all these that would do full length shows, just like it was a movie, only they would act it out live. So there was a lot of work in television in the early days.
For like theater and like television, what do you think is the hardest transition for a theater actor to make to television, or is it just?
It's you have to. The approach is different in front of a camera because you're doing close-ups and all of that sort of thing. So you can't be big like you are on stage because you have a distance between yourself and an audience member. So the way you gesture is going to be larger. You're also seen full length, and in film, you might only be seen from the shoulders up for certain
Yeah.
shots. So whatever you're doing below the shoulders doesn't matter, but on stage it does. So there's just different things to think about, and the subtlety and sort of more organic you are in front of a camera, the better off you're going to be, rather than having sort of um, presentational tics like you might on stage. So
Yeah.
I mean it's harder either way. I mean some actors can do both no problem at all, and other actors have a difficulty going from one to the other. But Jack Nicholson put it best. He saw he had a friend in a show once, and he went to go see it, and then he went backstage, congratulated him on it, and he says, "I can't do that."
Yeah.
He can't. Nicholson was not a stage actor. He was a film. He wrote screen. He was a screenwriter, and then he was a film star. He knew that world backwards and forwards. Could do it. He was a fantastic actor, just not a stage actor.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm trying to see if she look at mom will be home about a little after toward midnight, buddy. Toward midnight. Um yeah, Carol Lombard had a lot of success in her
He
life
did.
uh before her life was taken. But really her final roles were 1941 and 1942.
Yeah, she unfortunately she was killed in an airplane crash. She was raising
Yeah.
money selling war bonds, and
Yeah.
she was in Nevada, just like coming to Las Vegas or something, or coming
That's
from Las Vegas.
that's when actors and actresses, I mean, they were at that time. You had a lot of actors and actresses taking an interest in World War II, trying to do what they
Yeah, they
could.
were a ton of them were involved
Yeah.
in either entertaining at USO shows or raising money for war bonds because that was how they paid for the war machine.
What one
Or
one of my favorite Henry Fonda stories, when he was very young, he was still under contract to Fox, and he did not like the roles they were giving. He
Mhm.
was literally he walked out of Fox, out of the studio, and
Yeah,
was headed to join the Navy, but they
they
stopped
stopped
him.
him. Yeah,
Yep,
stopped him.
yeah,
Gave him what he wanted. Yeah. Uh, but meanwhile, um, Jimmy Stewart
yep,
was a certified pilot and became a highly decorated officer
yep.
during the war. I think he
Him,
was, as a matter of fact, I think he ended up becoming a brigadier general at some point. He wasn't actively,
no,
at that point. I think it was an honorarium, but he did. He was highly thought of. Even Clark Gable joined the war. He went in as a film director and went with film crews up in bombers and filmed them in combat.
yep.
So he was also under fire a couple of times. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. I mean, there were a ton of people that
Yeah.
did that.
I, I'm, I might be mistaken with this. I think Howard Hughes shot some films too in airplanes.
Oh, Hughes. Oh, yeah. Well, Hughes was an aviator anyway, so
Yeah,
I would not be surprised because he had a film company.
yeah,
So I wouldn't be surprised if he did that. He also was developing planes
yeah.
before, during, and after the war. So he was a big time aviator.
I know Fonda and Stewart. For those who don't know, they would compete. Not I'm not just talking about Oscars, but
Right.
they would build model airplanes and they would compete, like race them or something against each
Uh-huh.
other. and they would be on the phone to each other, and Stewart's like, "Aren't you worried about the award?" And Fonda's like, "I'm worried about putting my plane together, aren't you?" Like they would talk about, they could be talking about the Oscars, and Fonda and Stewart would be like, "That no, what? How's your plane looking?"
Uh-huh. Okay.
Okay.
Priorities, damn it. Priorities.
Yeah, priorities, right?
That's right.
Oh my God. Yeah, but William Powell and Carol Lombard had great chemistry in this film. I mean,
They did. They were good friends. Even they'd been divorced for several years by the time they made this film. But like you mentioned, he insisted on her, or he went to bat for her, because she was really good at that kind of stuff.
and he was also good at playing detectives too. I mean, he
Oh yeah,
wasn't just somebody who could be funny.
no. Although in The Thin Man, he and Myrna lawyer detectives, and they're funny. They've got both things going on.
Could you imagine now if they would have hypothetically, if they would have did the Pink Panther, it would in this era,
Yeah,
it would have been William Powell doing
yeah, probably
it.
with Edward Everett Horton.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. He would have been the thief. I
That's
guarantee
right.
you, he would have. Um, that or who is the other guy I'm thinking of in this time of the 30s? Because they might have used him. Maybe Bogey, because at this time he wasn't quite yet huge.
Yeah, he wasn't by this time. He was going to get big. I think within a couple of years after this, he
Yes.
started to do gangster films.
Yep.
He did Petrified Force in '37, I think.
Yep.
And Betty Davis had him. That was a big break for him because he'd been doing kind of B flicks up to that point.
Yeah.
And she insisted on having him play Duke Mantee in Petrified Force because they'd worked together on stage.
I mean, he's so good in it.
And Leslie Howard also.
Yes, Leslie. Yeah, because for those who don't know, he Bogart named his first kid after Leslie's
Yep.
first name.
Yep.
Because Leslie said, "Hey, you got to get Bogart because he
Yep.
was in a play." They're like, "Okay."
Yep.
And
Yeah, it's great. It's
yes,
fantastic.
it's a fun movie, for sure.
Yep.
We lost Pat. Oh, sorry. What do you
I
give
think
this movie, Alan?
what do I give this movie? I love this movie. I
It
give
is
it a
good.
10. I just love this movie. I
Yeah,
think
it's
I think Patrick's a little on the fence about this movie, but he does like other screwball comedies. I do know that, but this one I don't think appealed to him as much as some of the other ones have done.
it's
But
so it's
I love it.
sorry if I cut you off.
Nope, nope.
Um, it's not just like fast paced; it's fast talking too.
Oh
There's
yeah,
so much dialogue in this
it's
movie, and it goes and it goes,
mhm.
and
It's
that's what
very
makes it so
snappy.
good.
There's no long pauses to drive trucks.
Right? It's it's not in the sense of a Three Stooges movie where you're gonna get like somebody get smacked or something, but like you're almost waiting for that in this movie,
Yeah.
which makes it funny.
Well, you're almost waiting for somebody to get smacked, and it's probably going to be Cornelia. But
Right, right. Like somebody, it'll be okay if somebody just drops. It's okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm with you, but I gave this movie 11. It's really
cool.
funny.
Yeah,
Because I watched this when I was a teenager on TCM. I was like,
yeah,
wow,
yeah,
because they had William Powell for the star of the month.
yeah.
During
So you
the
get all the Thin Man movies, and you got this one
yes,
for sure.
this one came on right at 10 p.m., which you would think, okay, that's about time to go to bed. It's like I want to stay up and watch this. I want to see this
Yeah,
one. And my mom's like, "What are you watching now?" I'm like, "Mom, you gotta come in and watch this. It's really good." Uh,
yeah.
and it's funny.
It is.
It is Patrick's turn to pick. We'll message him here. I
Yep.
already know what I have in mind for next time, but we'll see what Patrick wants to do for
You bet.
tomorrow.
You bet.
Link to Patrick McCray's Dark Stable Compound is going to be in the description box. Link to Alan Gallant's YouTube channel. College Sports After Jerk is going to be in the description box. Go watch some William Powell movies. They're really good.
Yep.
Uh, really awesome. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow night
Alrighty.
and take care.
Take care, sir.
Bye bye.